Alright, today we're going to do a little farm work. I'm going to get the coop a little winterized. What we do around this underneath part of the coop to keep the snow and rain from getting under there, so they have a dry space during inclement weather, is we use shower curtains, clear shower curtains, line the hardwire cloth around the base, and then we use a staple gun to staple it on. And as you can see from the wind, and this has been on here a year, so it's done pretty good considering they're just cheap shower curtains. And it's not clear anymore. And then we have this pen that we put on top of that. It kind of helps hold it in from the wind and all of that. So it needs to be replaced. So I'm going to move all these rocks away from the base. Ugh, especially that one. Not too far, just back them out 6 inches or so. So I can pull all this off, and I'm going to get some needle nose pliers and pull out all the staples, get it all cleaned up, pull out the dead grass that grew in between, and put up the new shower curtains, which I have over here. And I usually have to cut them in half because I don't want it coming too far out, just about 6 inches to about right there. And then I staple it on with starting from the east, working to the west, so that any overlap, because the wind generally comes from the southwest, so I don't want the wind beating up against where the seams are. That helped a lot. It helped this last a lot longer. And then I'm going to clean up the inside of their run. We had rain for this last about 4 days, which was really nice. But they were in here quite a bit. So I'm going to clean this up, and they have some roosts down there that they use during the day if they're in here, and I usually hang their feeder from that hook. But right now it's out here. And yeah, I'm gonna get started on that. It's nice to be able to move a little bit. It's been 6 weeks on Saturday from when that hole right there caused a bruised bone and some stressed out ligaments. And that is going to get filled in today too. I got my rake and my hoe, and I'm going to fill in that silly little divot and make it smooth. Alright, I got the new shower curtain on. In this middle section, I decided to just leave it double thickness, because what am I going to do with a small piece of shower curtain? And because the way it was folded in half fit perfectly to go in that spot, so I just left it that way. And now, I shouldn't have moved those rocks up yet. I forgot I got to put the pen back in place. But yeah, this works so well. I've had a foot or two of snow blown up against these rocks. Nothing seeps into the run, so the girls can stay dry. Our biggest problem that we always have is the roof of the run leaking against the tough shed. We put a gutter up there, and some extra roofing tape, but it still drips down there. I don't think there's a whole lot we can do about it. It drips from up there. But for the most part, they hang out on the roost and under the coop. So they've always got a dry spot. So I will just put this pen back up and then put the rocks back. And this part is done. My preference would be to have plexiglass sheets, but they're expensive. This works really well for what it is. But I'd really like to replace these pieces of plywood with plexiglass. And I looked on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace to see if anybody was getting rid of it, after all the COVID plexiglass run. But I didn't find any, so we'll just leave the plywood for now. It keeps a fair amount of snow from blowing in, and then we just have signs my husband used over there. They're kind of that corrugated plastic stuff. That works too. Not exactly attractive, but it does the job. But this allows daylight, sunlight to get through so that they have that. I don't want it all dark for them. So this worked really well. Another thing I decided how to winterize this year is go back to using the heated water. We have electricity up here. We don't do a heat lamp anymore, but we did the first winter they were out there when they were still pretty young. But they don't really need it at all. But to keep this warm in the winter, that way I don't have to worry about frozen water, I think I'm going to do it this year. I didn't do it the first year because it got dirty, and I don't like them to have dirty water. But frankly, I'm tired of dealing with frozen water in the morning. And I did put it up on blocks, so it's a little bit higher so they can't kick dirt into it so much. And frankly, they love drinking out of dirty water, but I still like them to have clean water. So this will be nice this year. I got these at Chewy. I bought 2 of them, and I was going to put one inside the coop, but I decided not to do that. It takes up a lot of space. They do have food and water in the coop, but it's actually their baby waterer. I have it down on that end, and it does freeze if it gets super cold, but inside here it has to get pretty cold. As long as they have water outside, they're fine. But I like to leave that in there for them anyways. So I think that's mostly it for winterization. I will rake this out. I don't know, in the next week or so I'll rake all this out, and I like to put some hay back there for them, but it's not nearly cold enough yet. So that is it for winterizing the coop. This turned out really well. That will keep all the snow and rain from getting under there. And they're set now. That's it for my little video on how we winterize our coop. I think somebody is still broody. What are you doing in here, Dolly? She gets broody so much. Oh, well, you girls decide to hang in here tonight? I know you liked your waterer. I saw you drinking out of it. Hi, Dottie. Oh, aren't you a good little chicken? Are you going to go in there and lay an egg? Okay. All right. That's Reba and Tammy and Baby Buff and Dottie and Patsy and Loretta back there. All right, girls. Well, they were drinking out of this, so I think it's going to work out just fine.